It's kind of crazy to me when I go to the grocery store and I see this little tiny container of blackberries for like $8. It's redonkulous. And here we have thousands and thousands and thousands of blackberries for free in our backyard. Alright, we're going to do a late summer, early fall update on our garden since we realized haven't done one since June. So let's do a little tour and see what our current harvest is. Our broccoli is kind of
pretty much past.
Sad looking there. But we've got eggplant. Look at these eggplant. There must be like 10 of them on there.
Yep.
They're all in there.
Well, tomatoes, more lemon cucumbers.
These are the
They're continuing to plug along.
lemon cucumbers. Those things are really good. And we're finally getting some Sun Gold tomatoes. These are our absolute favorite. Although you said the tomatoes aren't doing quite as well this year as last year.
Yeah, they're kind of slow this year.
Which is surprising because it's been an unusually hot summer.
Yeah, I don't know.
There are the cucumbers. More Sun Golds. Cucumbers. That one's kind of a funky cucumber. They get all warped with all these supports and everything. Tomatoes. Got a bunch of green ones on this one. More tomatoes. They are starting to turn a little bit. We have had a few really yummy ones. Tomatoes, these are just the little red cherry tomatoes here. Oh, there's a good lemon cucumber right there. You can see all its little spines on it there. There it is. And a nice red tomato there and a bunch of green ones underneath it.
Funny looking zucchinis.
That's a little tiny zucchini compared to the other ones we got. The herbs are doing quite well. The bees love these guys. Yeah, so unfortunately, as you can see, these sad little lettuce stalks here, the deer came and ate most of our greens. We're really, really sad about that. We're in, you can see where all the deer chomped them off there.
Yeah, I think actually I did that.
Oh, you did that?
The deer chomped the chard.
Yeah.
And the deer chomped that.
But yeah, you can see where they chomped all the chard there. There's a little bit remaining. And all these bolted stalks here. But Bill replanted some spinach. Well, the one that we had over here, the mesculum, that one was overtaken by aphids, and we tried getting ladybugs because they're supposed to prey on the aphids, but it was just too big of an infestation, so we just had to pull it up. And it did get a little bit on the kale as well, and the deer got the kale. So, but now it's kind of recovering, thankfully.
That's lettuce.
Is that lettuce going to seed?
It has dandelion seeds.
Did not know that.
Did not know that either.
But anyway, we're in the process of getting a fence around our yard. That's the big project that we're doing with our tax refund. And so hopefully, once we have that in place, it'll keep the children in and the deer out.
That's the plan.
That's our goal. We can't wait to get that fence. So, but until then, we just have to try and catch the deer in action when we see them and scare them away. But they have been eating a lot of the greens. You can see just how much everything has grown.
In fact, these peas have grown to the point where they all kind of flopped over.
Yeah, even though they've gone all the way up the trestle and then they flopped over.
Yeah.
They've been doing really well. And they're so tasty too. They're like, this is how vegetables are supposed to taste. Like, I swear that kids wouldn't be quite so picky. Well, maybe ours would, I don't know. But most kids wouldn't be quite so picky if they actually tasted vegetables fresh out of the garden. It's like what they're meant to taste like. They're so rich and flavorful and yummy. So we've got our peas there, and we've got some squash coming along here.
Yeah, it got in the ground a little late.
What are these, Hubbard squash?
These are Hubbard squash. I don't know if it's going to quite reach full size, but hopefully it'll still taste good.
There's some up here on the trestle too. The deer have been eating a little bit up here too.
The deer ate our beans.
The deer ate our beans, and the crows too.
Well, the crows did it when the beans were little. I don't think a crow's capable of that.
Yeah, but they were getting them as sprouts.
But you can see down in there some acorn squash.
Oh, yeah.
Here's actually a full-size one here. And you can see another one right there.
Oh, there's a nice acorn squash. Oh, yeah, there's another one.
I may try fencing this area off a little bit.
Yeah, just to keep the deer out.
I think the beans might recover if we can keep the deer from continuing to eat them.
Yeah. So how are the potatoes and...
Potatoes are ready to pick. I just haven't had a chance yet. But if you come here and look at this, we dig down just a little. I'm trying to keep them covered up so they don't get too green. But if you dig down just a little, they're all sitting there waiting for me to come get them.
They're ready.
Yeah.
And the onions. How are the onions coming along?
Yeah, you can see they're a little small because I put them in late, but some of them are actually
there.
Yep, that one looks like it's a healthy, ready to eat onion.
Our neighbor actually gave us a whole box full of onions that they grew too.
Yep.
We had it with chicken the other night. So there it is. At this point it's just maintenance, watering, since we've had so much heat and dry spell here in Western Washington. It's been one of the hottest summers we've had, so it's just been keeping on top of watering every night, and we're just harvesting, really.
Speaking of hot, take a look at the horizon right now.
If you guys haven't heard, Eastern Washington is basically on fire. There have been a ton of towns that have had to evacuate. It's really kind of scary, and the smoke has blown all the way across the Cascade Mountains and is hazing up our sky over here, and it smells like a campfire out here because it's so smoky. It's crazy.
See what the deer have been doing to my raspberry plants as well.
Yeah, they've been chopping those down. Well, the raspberries, at least the raspberries are done for the season, so we're not missing too many of those.
So Napoleon Dynamite is correct that bow hunting skills would come in handy. Because I could shoot one right from my back porch. And man, as a locavore, that's awfully appealing.
Yeah, my husband has a little bit of redneck in him.
Unfortunately, I don't have enough to actually have bow hunting skills.
Although, honestly, since I have changed, the way that we've eaten, and just learning about getting meat locally and meat that eats, the animal that eats closest to its natural food possible, I mean, hunting actually makes a lot of sense because the animal is in its natural environment. It has a happy life. It's eating what it's supposed to eat its whole life.
Well, these deer are eating my raspberries and my beans, so
they're even healthier.
They're good and healthy and fat, but that's not what it's supposed to eat. Not as far as
but they have lived a happy life. Anyway, so take a look at all of our blackberries.
I wish I could it as a gardener, but that's just a weed.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to me when I go to the grocery store and I see this little tiny container of blackberries for like $8. It's redonkulous. And here we have thousands and thousands and thousands of blackberries for free in our backyard. Even if you don't have them in your backyard around Western Washington, you can just go by the side of the road or a trail or whatever, and they're everywhere. They're so yummy. We've been putting blackberries in everything.
We haven't gotten it together to pick enough to make anything with this year, but we just kind of pick a bucket at a time and put them on our cereal.
We eat them. We eat them up. We put them in smoothies and feed them to
Alex's mush.
Yeah. So those are looking pretty good. So here's our spindly little apple tree. That's got, what, 6 apples on it?
Yeah, that apple tree's a bit sad.
Yeah, it's a little bit sad, but they look good. Once they're ripe, I'm sure they'll taste good.
This apple tree is healthier, but it produced... This one over here is healthier, but it produced a lot last year, so it's kind of taking a break.
It's on and off here this year. There's like a handful of apples up there, if you can see. Yeah.
So next year, I'm hoping it will do better.
Yeah. And our cherries, well, they were gone in the spring. And we had to put, because of the deer, we have our 2 plum trees. We have a yellow plum and a regular purple plum. And we had to put this fence around them because the deer were eating them all. So Bill just erected this little makeshift fence. And it's worked. It's kept them out, and we have enjoyed all of our plums. If you haven't seen my plum butter video, go check that out. We made, it's basically like a freezer jam made out of plums, and it's stevia sweetened, so it's sugar-free and natural and yummy and healthy. We're still eating the plum butter now. We actually still have a few plums left in our outside refrigerator too. But today Bill is going to take this fence down, and he's going to move it to be up there around the garden that I just showed you. So that's all, you guys. If you guys like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll probably do one more update in the fall with our fall bounty that we get in a couple months. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.